How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping out another video. Right, guys, this is a story in the Daily Mirror, link in the description below like I always do. Headline reads, rookie prison officers hired to deal with Britain's most dangerous inmates. Exclusive. In England's 8 Category A prisons, the number of officers with less than 3 years experience has rocketed. Inexperienced staff are being drafted in to deal with some of Britain's most dangerous prisoners. In England, 8 category prisons, home to some of the nation's most violent offenders, the proportion of officers with less than 3 years experience has rocketed. The shocking figures compiled by Labour's Shadow Justice team also show that violence against staff has risen in 7 out of the 8. At South London's Belmarsh, the percentage of officers with less than 3 years on the job was 6% in 2010. The total now stands at 40%. At West Yorkshire's Wakefield prison, it's up from 3% to 21%. At HMP Franklin, County Durham, 20% of staff have less than 3 years experience. Franklin is where Millie Dowler's killer Levi Belfield is locked up alongside Soham murderer Ian Huntley, Rhys Jones killer Sean Mercer and the Yorkshire Ripper Peter Sutcliffe. Imran Hussain, the MP Labour Shadow Justice Minister, said high security prisons hold the most violent prisoners in the country. So it's a cause for alarm that the number of prison officers who are experienced in dealing with these inmates have fallen so sharply. Despite the Tories' rhetoric about getting a grip on the emergency in our prisons, the reality is far different as the staff retention crisis continues to grow and inexperienced officers are put in charge of the most dangerous offenders. Now, all this is, guys, in a nutshell, is the Labour, obviously the Conservative government, the Tory government, the scumbags that they are, they're currently in power. Hopefully they'll be gone soon. But the fact is, this is nothing more than political point scoring. Now, whether you're Labour, whether you're, do you know what I mean, whether you're Conservatives, do you know what I mean, they don't have a clue, guys. They can't relate to prisoners any which way. And that's part of the problem. They're residing over people they can't relate to. We know nothing of their world, they know nothing of our world. Right now, like I say, staff retention is a problem. Why? Because they're sold a dream. For me, prison officers are lied to. They're sold a job. You're going to make a change in society. You're going to change these young men's and women's lives and kids' lives, because obviously we've got children in secure training centres, we've got women in female prisons, and we've got men in prisons from category A's to category D's, right? And I think that they're told, you're going to make a difference. You're going to change these people's life. And the reality is all they really do is they're putting out cell fires. They're cutting people down that are strung up, the care workers, the social workers, the counsellors, then the policing, then they're doing ACT books, which are like mental health books and stuff like that. This is the thing, yeah, so the job is sold to them a certain way. You're going to have a career for life. This is a job for you. You need this job. You can become part of this team. And then the training they do 9 weeks training, which doesn't really put them in. It's not reflective of what's going to go on the wing and stuff, right? The training that they do, including a week of control and restraint training. In Norway, prison officer training, 2 years before they get the keys. In the UK, 9 weeks. And like I say, guys, you've got people coming from jobs, like you've got unlocked graduates, students that have been like raised with a silver spoon in the mouth, or they've got no real life experience. They're going to uni, and then part of the practical thing, they're going into to prisons and they're working and they've got the keys, or they come from McDonald's and they're working in a warehouse, and then you're putting them on the wing. They've got no life experience, they're not switched on, and you're putting them on wings with highly manipulative, violent, volatile prisoners, because prisoners are being oppressed, right? They've got it hard enough as it is. Prison officers and the Prison Officers Association lobbied for the smoking ban. That was antagonising prisoners. That then made tobacco contraband. Where you've got contraband, you've got debt. Where you've got debt, you've got fear, intimidation, bullying and violence. They're being smashed all over the landings. The job isn't what it was sold to them as, and they leave. Is it a surprise? It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, the starting salary is around £22,000 a year for a prison officer. Now, like I say, in my opinion, it's not enough, because the job is so... Sorry guys, I'm honest to God, like absolutely dripping. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me in any which way. And like I say, for the 3,000, 4,000 officers they've recruited, they've lost over 7,000 experienced officers. And one experienced officer with 20 years experience is worth 7, 8 of these young newbies that are still wet behind the ear. There's no physical presence about them. They don't know how to pick up on situations. They're intimidated. They're not strong characters. And prisoners just get them wrapped around the finger, man. Prisoners sit there and, like, whilst in neutral, just get these prison officers wrapped around their little fingers, and that's part of the problem. For me, I wouldn't have female screws in a male prison because sexual relationships do develop. I wouldn't have male screws in a female prison because sexual relationships go on. Then you've got lesbians. You've got, like, certain prison officers in certain prisons are known as a lesbian mafia, where they'll fancy a female officer, a female con even, get my words out, and then they look after them and sexual relationships develop and stuff. But the job is sold to them. You're going to be this, you're going to have this great career, you're not going to come under threat, sustained violence, excrement thrown at you, piss thrown at you, swilled, hot watered, assaulted. I mean, you're not going to see self-harm, you're not going to see suicides. And the reality is all them things are going on in prison, so it really doesn't surprise me. But these prison officers need to look long and hard before they join the job. I mean, like I say, you've lost 7,000 experienced plus officers with 20 years experience. You've replaced them with wet behind the earth kids with no life experience, and they're getting smashed all over the landings. And like I say, you've got to be a certain way to be a screw, mainly a bastard. If you're a bastard, it helps, you know what I'm saying? Here's what it is, guys. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think. It's not about what I think, it's about what you think. If you've been in jail, if you've been a prison officer, comment, like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.